Christmas Day is upon us. This is the last review I'm doing for my series of Christmas movie reviews, and the weather in Southern California has gotten to Hoth levels of freezing. Okay, maybe not that bad, but for us in Southern California, it's cold as balls, so that's why I'm wearing the leather jacket. Let's get into the review right now. The last movie I'll be reviewing in my series of Christmas-related movie reviews is It's a Wonderful Life, directed by Frank Capra and stars Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed. So pretty much with this series of reviews, I've kind of gone backwards in time. A Muppet Christmas Carol came out in the early 90s. This movie came out in the mid-40s. But anyway, It's a Wonderful Life stars Jimmy Stewart as George Bailey, a young man who wants to go out into the world, live life with the woman of his dreams, Mary, played by Donna Reed. But unfortunately, he's tied down due to a lot of family drama, particularly with his uncle, his father, and that dirty, rotten old bastard, Mr. Potter. The movie essentially is pretty much about life, and it is truly one of the greatest films ever made. And this review will contain some spoilers. If you're new to this channel, whenever I do retro reviews, I will do spoilers just automatically, assuming you've seen the movie. So just like a fair warning. Frank Capra is one of the greatest filmmakers out there, and Jimmy Stewart is just a legendary actor. The two of them have done some collaborations in the past, particularly Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and It's a Wonderful Life might be their best. The performances from everyone in this movie are stellar. Jimmy Stewart is just so phenomenal as George Bailey, even though when I was rewatching this movie for this review, it's very funny to see that even as a young man, Jimmy Stewart always acted old. But then again, that's why we love him. In terms of George Bailey as a character, he's somebody that you can easily relate to. We've all been in those situations where we just graduate high school or college, we're ready to start our own life, grab the person that we want to be with for the rest of our lives, and then things just happen. Reality kicks in where you really can't go out and do all those wonderful things you want to do. You've got to maintain a job, you've got to maintain finances, keep your family afloat, and the struggles that George Bailey goes through are really heart-wrenching at times. You see everything that he's going through as the movie progresses, and you truly understand his frustration. And for being a Christmas movie, like, this is a movie that everyone points to as one of the key Christmas movies out there, and it is, but this movie can go into some really dark places. Near the end of the movie, when we get into the third act, George Bailey is visited by Clarence, his guardian angel, who has to help him in order to get his wings. And George just wishes for a life where he was never born, and you really see like what an impact that he had. And this is really the ultimate movie to watch if you're in the state of depression. Even if you might not make that much of a difference in terms of the real world, you'll affect a lot of the people in your lives, even if it's just a little tiny bit that you affect them in their lives. And it's really heartwarming, and the ending, it gets me every time because it's a celebration of life and the fact that life is just so precious and important. It's never worth throwing out. I'm going into the zone of being incredibly preachy, and I'll admit that, but it's true. That's the impression I get when I see It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, hell, the title of the movie, It's a Wonderful Life, is a celebration of life. The cinematography in this movie is absolutely gorgeous. It's filmed in black and white, and it just looks so beautiful, and this movie actually won an Oscar for a technical aspect of simulating snowfall in film. I know today that doesn't sound like much of a technical aspect, but you got to keep in mind that back in 1946, this was something that blew everyone's mind because it was never done before. The idea of seeing snow falling in a feature film. Hell, back in the age of silent movies, people were astonished at the idea of sound movies coming into existence. So back then, film just took baby steps into introducing all the stuff that we have access to today. There's not much else I have to say about It's a Wonderful Life. It's so beautiful. It's incredibly well made. The performances are great, especially from Jimmy Stewart, who got nominated for an Academy Award for his role. It's well deserved. It's wonderfully directed by Frank Capra, and I don't have any negatives to say about it. I try to think of some stuff that I didn't like. Maybe it's a little too long, but it's very rewarding in the end. So yeah, if you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life, you have to get off your ass and go see it right now. It's truly one of the greatest films ever made, and one of the best feel-good movies out there, even if it comes in and goes to some dark places before you get to that happy ending. And that's my review for It's a Wonderful Life. Thank you guys for sticking around for my series of Christmas movie reviews. I will have some more movie reviews in the next few days before we get into the new year and before I do my best of and worst of. I'll be doing reviews for Downsizing, The Greatest Showman, Darkest Hour, Jumanji, my spoiler review for The Last Jedi. Until then, I hope you all enjoyed this review. Leave a comment down below and tell me what your thoughts are on It's a Wonderful Life, if and when you've seen it. And as always, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you guys soon.